So like, what's minimum height for you?
6 foot.
6 foot. I'm sorry.
There seems to still be much debate on what is considered attractive in terms of the female gaze. Blue and red pillars posit the idea that female attraction is based on behavioral factors, such as kindness or game, respectively. The evidence, however, points to the idea that female attraction is based on physical attributes that would provide future offspring with a genetic advantage. Think about this from a logical perspective. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, most human beings were violent and savage. Individuals that would be docile or kind really didn't have the opportunity to show this. What was significant was an individual male's ability to hunt, and even more significant was the in-species competition between males. Dominant males not only physically outcompeted less dominant or less capable males, they also subsequently prevented them from passing on their set of genes. It also stands to reason that populations that had females who would select mates based on their usefulness and physical capacity would be more successful and more likely to live on populations whose females did not select for more dominant males. From a study titled Facial Attractiveness Evolutionary-Based Research, researchers were able to support the contention that attractiveness was not a simple social construct, but attractiveness seems to be ingrained into our biology, as I quote. Researchers were able to identify a set of features that influenced how attractive faces would seem to the opposite gender in heterosexual individuals. The study found facial symmetry, sexual dimorphic traits, skin tone, and hair vitality to be significant in the attractiveness of a face. In particular, the debate on what exactly the female gaze, that is what women find attractive in male faces, has been debated, and I feel it necessary to clear things up. It should immediately be noted that facial attractiveness is not actually all subjective. Research has found time and time again that specific features are almost universally attractive to a given gender. Take, for example, facial symmetry, a feature universally regarded as attractive regardless of sexual orientation. Here it is clear that the face on the left having 50% more symmetry on the face on the right would be more attractive in both female and male gaze. There is also no doubt that the face on the left would be seen as more beautiful to anyone from children to homosexuals. This feature only stands as an example of why facial attractiveness is far less subjective than one would be led to believe. The reason facial symmetry is an attractive feature universally is due to the fact that faces with good facial symmetry have been able to achieve their genetic potential without disease or malnutrition. A face that isn't symmetrical is perceived by the brain as being sick or malnourished, leading to an irregular bone structure. Genetics may also play a factor in how symmetrical a face ends up being, but is not a great example. Sexual dimorphism stands as a much more pure example of genetic determinism in facial attractiveness. The levels of testosterone an individuals exposed to during puberty and partially in the womb change the level of sexual dimorphism in the face. Faces possessing greater levels of sexual dimorphism, particularly in males, are more attractive. Features that make a male face more dimorphic include a more prominent brow ridge, larger jawbone, and a thicker neck. These features are associated with being more intimidating to other males, and it stands to reason from an evolutionary perspective as a more prominent brow ridge was necessary in protecting the eye socket from incoming blows, for example. A thicker neck is also necessary to dial down the force of a hit to the head, while also being a sign of increased muscle mass in general. How much testosterone an individual is exposed to in the womb and during puberty certainly has an environmental factor to it, but the largest component is certainly genetics. But I digress. A feature heavily misunderstood in the female gaze as well is a man's hair. Women place great importance on the hair of their partners, with many popular singers, songwriters, actors, having a great hairdo that girls can never get over. Some Red Bull coppers like to say that some bold men can do really well in the dating market, but this is just false. Notice just how big of a difference a good haircut can make to a male face. Once again, this makes sense from an evolutionary perspective, as individuals who are capable of growing a full head of hair were healthy and young and capable of giving the most quality gametes. Becoming a bald, roided-out gym cell is not only unattractive to women, it is genuinely repulsive. Although some men can still have success with women past the age of 25, even if they are bold, Most of these men would still look better and have superior dating success with a full head of hair. One need only notice the fact that no woman under the age of 28 even knows the name of 10 bodybuilders, but can name 11 pretty boy singers in an instant. Height is also an essential dimorphic trait. Height provides an individual with instant status and dominance. As stated before, features are given individual physical advantage or often desirable to women. Longer limbs, wider shoulders, and a longer reach provide a male with a better ability to reach his opponent or an anatomical advantage when running away. Studies have also proven time and time again that the most likely optimal height for a male in the dating market is between 6 feet to 6'4". Another essential factor to female attractiveness is the concept of race. Studies also find a huge preference for Anglo-Saxon white individuals in the dating market. This is the basis for JBW, or just be white theory, comes from. From there, races that resemble the typical Caucasian phenotype like Arabic, Egyptian, and Latino are next on the ladder of attentiveness. Somewhere below that, Sub-Saharan, African, or African American, and most famously East and Southern Asians. Female attractiveness is also extremely selective, seeing 81% of all males as being unattractive. Women also feel a baseline level of disgust when thinking about having sex with any man, despite their relative attractiveness. It is clear the female gaze has evolved to weed out unattractive males, who are clearly not young or particularly dimorphic. This meeting strategy is why human faces have changed so much in the 100,000 years. In fact, today, there is a greater prevalence of pretty boy-type chads on the internet. It is possible this increase is due to an unearthing of natural female psychology, and not by changing social standards. I believe that the increase in women's ego has led them to desire of male faces that reflect their own perceived beauty. Regardless, it is clear, the female gaze prefers a face with vitality, rather than that of a steroid-using bodybuilder. Ultimately, whether a face is attractive or not is mainly genetic.
Do you like it?
How much do you pay in rent here?
1,400.
Go up to camera.
What? Is this real?
Can I have your number?
No.
Bruh.